Eco-Carlton as a broad idea is a fantastic project, and the Carlton Eco-Neighbourhood that we're working on is a big part of that, I think, and it's delivering some pretty good outcomes. I guess the exciting part about it is there's a group of people working together who wouldn't have met if they weren't part of this program. So they're people from the four corners of the globe and the four corners of the Carlton housing estate and outside it as well that have come together to think about environmental sustainability. This project is a really good example because there's been some terrific investment in the Carlton housing redevelopment, and they're quite highly sustainably designed buildings, and so the buildings themselves are taking some major steps on achieving carbon neutrality and significant water savings. So what this program is doing is helping the people that live in those buildings to become advocates for the buildings, so they understand what the buildings are doing and they're not confused or frustrated or ignorant of the buildings. They're aware of it and they celebrate it, and they help spread the word around the community of what the opportunities presented by the buildings are.
Well, it means that we've really got involved in a program, a group of us have got involved in the program that are really thinking about recycling, energy use, water use, these sorts of things, and how we can actually make that more efficient and sustainable. It's a fantastic new building. It's got solar power. There's water recycling within the building. It's been designed so it's the temperature summer and winter is it doesn't need a lot of cooling, it doesn't need a lot of heating. So the buildings themselves are very efficient, but there's still room for improvement, and you still have to have methods of things like recycling. What's noticeable to me most of all is the sense of community that's come out of this. I mean, that's the very first thing, that people are starting to communicate with each other. People are starting to take more responsibility, particularly for their waste, and it's noticeable that we're trying to sort of evolve the systems of getting rid of waste, but also recycling, and even thinking about perhaps the organic waste, and that's still got to be worked out. I think it's the residents themselves eventually come up with the best solutions, because people who do the designing, like the architects and engineers, they have certain ideas how things work. But particularly in public housing, it's very complex. You've got different sized families, you've got people from different ethnic backgrounds, different attitudes, different education. So when we design these structures of buildings, we need to take differences into account as well as similarities.
I'm from Carlton. I basically live in the community flats. I've been living there basically almost all my life. One of the solutions I had was, the top of the recycling bin, they've actually made a hole, and they've nailed down the lid so no one can actually lift it up and put massive bags of rubbish in there. And that's one of the solutions, but the problem is that we've had 3-litre milk bottles that haven't actually been able to fit in, so that's just one of the issues. But at least we've actually had less contamination, and we have people who actually do auditing. So we're planning to have, like for example me, audit the actual recycling bins, and just to make sure that our people are actually recycling and is actually going up or down, and if it's not, what can we do? So when we take a shower, I thought that when you turn the water, it goes cold water first, and usually people just step away, they just let the water run. Instead you can just get a bucket, just put it there and just let the cold water run and just wait for the hot water, and when you get the hot water, then you can use that bucket of water for either watering your plants or washing dishes or whatever you feel like.
The concept that the City of Melbourne and the Eco-Neighbourhood concept running in Carlton offers is the opportunity to achieve some of that, to bring people together, to get them thinking about and taking action to create an environmentally sustainable future that's also a socially and economically sustainable future for this area.
As I said, the thing that I've noticed most of all, and I've lived in public housing now for 16 years, there is just the sense of community that's coming out of this, and there's much more energy, and it's a nicer environment.